So God's been showing me some things, and I just wanted to come on real quick and say some things God's been showing me. And He's been showing me for a while, and I know everyone comes on here and says something about what God is showing them. To be honest, I really don't watch them. I stick to the pastors that I watch, and that's what I stick to. But this has been really heavy on my heart, and it's been about the enemy coming in to the camp of children, and he's taking so many things and putting curtains up, and we're not paying attention. He's coming in, sneaking in, and putting up these curtains, and we're not listening, we're not discerning, we're not paying attention. And he's been running through this camp unchallenged for quite some time. And when God showed me things that have been going on, and when God showed me things, it really freaked me out, to be honest. So to the point where I really didn't want to go to the grocery store anymore. And I had to go at certain times of the day because I just didn't like seeing what I saw, and I didn't like feeling what I felt. So I would try to hide somewhere, just like staying home and not try to go to the store as much, or going places when I know it's not that busy, because feeling it was so heavy on my heart, and seeing it was just really painful. But clearly He gave me all of those things for a reason. So I'm going to just step out and be like, okay, here we are. So the enemy, if I can talk right, has been just running rampant, and we're not discerning. We're giving away our babies even, and not realizing it. We're giving them away to all kinds of situations and scenarios, and we're not thinking anything of it. We have to be better discerners. We have to pray more. We have to pay more attention. We need to ask for guidance, and we need to stop just thinking because they're babies, it's not a big deal. To me, a baby, especially like a newborn baby, is kind of like almost like a lie detector, except it's can tell you whether a person is good or not. Hold the baby up in the air. The baby will tell you right there when that baby starts screaming and hollering, and they normally don't. It's not because they're afraid that you're leaving them. They have that kind of cry, but there's another cry, and it's like, don't leave me with this crazy person. But we just think, oh, they'll be fine, they'll be fine. And so we're constantly giving our babies away. The enemy is running in, trying to steal identity of our babies and our children before they can even spell identity. He's come in and swooped it up. And then we start to pay attention and want to have more in-depth conversations about God and warfare and the enemy's attacks when they get old enough, as we think old enough. But the enemy's already stolen part of their identity, and we don't even realize it. This is a really big problem, and I just don't really know exactly what I'm supposed to do fully about it. But if I see it, I know I need to be saying something, and when I'm in public, I try to say a few things, just like prayers, really, because when you see it and feel it, what are you supposed to do? But when the enemy is trying to steal identity from our children, we're just not paying attention, and we need to. So I just wanted to come on and say, we need to start paying attention as adults, as guardians, as leaders, whoever we are and wherever we are. We need a whole lot more, kind of like big mamas running around, protecting and not being so naive and not being so free with our babies and our children, because we have no idea what they're enduring. The second they go in kindergarten, that's a whole other story for you guys. Being in a school district, and a good one, a top-notch one, and just simply volunteering and helping, I can tell you some stories about what actually happens, what teachers say and do. And these are in kindergarten. You don't know what they go through, what they say, and what they experience, and they don't even have the words to articulate what's going on. So we have to cover them better. We have to start getting to the root, because if we can get to the root, at the root, instead of waiting when they're much older, it'll be much easier. You can't dig up a 30-year-old tree and try to find the root. You're 30 years old and you're trying to find the root of something. That's a lot of digging. It's going to take you a lot of time. But if we start at the root and we stay at the root, then we can learn better, and we can help them better, and they can grow up, and then we can start changing generations, because we're starting at the root. So if you want to find the root, start at the root. If we can't start at the root, we start wherever we're at. It's better than never starting. It's better than never trying. It's better than just ignoring and not acknowledging. It's a complete lack of knowledge and a complete just ignorance because we just don't know. We didn't realize. We say, when our kids say something, we just go, oh my gosh, I didn't know, I didn't see, I didn't understand. And that's just an ignorance. It's not like we're on purpose giving our kids away, but we have to pay attention, because the enemy is at war. He's at war as soon as they're in the womb. They pop out. The enemy's at war, and we're just like, oh, they're just cute and adorable, which they are. But it's like, nothing's gonna happen. You don't know. The enemy is trying to steal right away. If he's trying to attack right away, why aren't we trying to cover and guard and be in warfare right away? This is something that we need to be doing. Leaders need to be doing. The church staff needs to be doing, instead of teaching all of these, the same 5 Bible stories and the same stories in the same way with the same crayons. We need to be teaching them differently. We need to be relating it to their level. Take a movie, any movie, pick something that's relatable to them and show them and teach them and help them and guide them. But mostly it's about discerning, because when they're so little, 3, 4, 5, and 6, we have to discern who's the right person to keep them, who's the right daycare, even that family member, which I got a whole thing about kinfolk. Kinfolk doesn't mean they can have your kids because they're kinfolk. That's first. But anyways, we have to discern better. So I just wanted to come on and say, please pay attention to everything that you're doing around your kids, that you're saying around your kids, around your babies. Pray over them, cover them. And if you don't know how, that's fine. Most people don't, because we're not taught that as much. But there's a lot of helpful resources that you can learn about just simply warfare and spiritual warfare for ourselves, for our families, for our children's lives, future lives. Even if we don't have kids yet, we can still even be praying and worrying for them, before we have them. The same thing as people do for their husbands or wives. Before they get them, they're praying for them. So we can all be doing that, but we have to cover our kids more, because you don't understand what they're going through, and you don't understand what they feel and what the enemy is doing to them at such early ages. And once we figure it out, we feel like it's too late, even though it's not. So we have to do better. All right, bye. I'm random. I just said all right, bye. But anyways, if you listened, thank you for listening, and I hope that something affects you, and that maybe there's a child in your life that you can discern more, pay attention to more, and pray over more, and guard and protect more, no matter the age. Okay.